Welcome to another St. Pete by Night production. The following is rated for mature audiences and may contain graphic themes that will be distressing to some viewers. As always, we recommend you ensure the safety and well-being of yourself and those around you at all times. Viewer discretion is advised.
In the heart of night, we rise from shadows, calling at the moon, igniting our battles, cleansing Gaia of an endless blight. Until our final days, we will fight. Thanks, man, we stand united as one. Evil spirits lurking with horror and dread. Little light leads us where the grave dare tread. Glory and honor, wisdom in our hand. Together we rise, take our final stand. Everywhere we run, the wind is at our back. All the warm forces we will track. From the depths of the ocean to the clouds in the sky, vampires tremble as we learn to fight. Rage across Tampa, in this fight we'll stay. Evil spirits lurking with horror and dread. Little light leads us where the brave dare tread. Glory and honor, wisdom in our hand. Together we rise, take our final stand. Rage across Tampa, in this fight we'll stay. Everywhere with the pack, let the night be our guide. In battles of honor, we shall never hide. We shall never hide.
Good evening and welcome to the St. Pete by Night Entertainment Network. St. Petersburg by Night is a World of Darkness role-playing community originating in St. Petersburg, Florida. My name is Kent, also known as Kent on all social media, and I will be your storyteller tonight. It's Friday night, and you know what that means. It's time for Hounds, our Werewolf the Apocalypse 5th edition chronicle set in Tampa Bay, Florida, where a pack of young guru have traveled from Michigan to assist the Sept of the Evening Star in combating the forces of the worm, both physical and spiritual. You can follow St. Pete by Night on all of the social media listed in the description down below, and you can join our community by following that Discord link where you could take part in one of the many activities we have running all month long. We are now offering for players to run or play in 20th Anniversary or Chronicles of Darkness games as well, so head on over and join our community today. Now, let's introduce our players. Players, go ahead and introduce yourselves, if you please.
Hi there, everyone. I'm Nikki, and I will be playing Delphine Gaia Speaker, the Silent Strider Theurge.
Hello everyone, my name is Jay, and I'm here to tell you that Perishal's relationship with me is okay, and I love you all. I'll be playing Forged from Failures, the Bone Gnawer Rune.
Hello, my name is Lilith, and I'll be playing Juniper Kameen, the Black Fury Ragabash.
Hi, I used to think hourglasses were called sandtimers. I'm Nabbers, and I play Quinn Kelly, the Children of Gaia Ragabash.
Hey everyone, my name is Ben, and I'll be playing Raymond Gorn, the Ghost Council Philodox.
Hello, Internet. My name is Echo, and I will be playing Will-O-Wisp, the lupus-born Children of Gaia Galliard.
To our audience, if you haven't caught on yet who the extroverts versus the introverts are in this group, I think this will give you a really, really strong indication as to that. But enough of that. Let's get caught up as to where we are now. Last week, we saw Delphine, Juniper, and Forged approach Aspen and Charles to discuss what they thought was wrong with Raymond and Raymond's decision-making as of late. We then saw Raymond make another wonderful decision by going to visit his patron, the Horned Serpent, without a gift and losing 2 of his fingers in the process, but gaining some very good insight and wisdom. Then we saw the pack join with the elders in a moot where the cairn was opened and they were given the opportunity to dedicate themselves to the cairn. While only Stakes and Delphine decided to take the leap into eternity, the others definitely had some strong support for their packmates in doing so. Delphine also received the name Gaia Speaker to replace the name Ruin Speaker after all of the good work she's done over the past year in getting clean, getting focused, and learning. And then finally, we saw our newcomers, Quinn and Willow, on the road to Tampa. But the road is bumpy indeed as they encountered Rook, the former sept warder of Quinn's former sept, who has been tracking them since their departure and definitely goaded them with some very pointed comments. Will he continue to be a thorn in their side? Let's be honest, probably. Anyway, let's get to this week's episode with our first scene. We begin with our newcomers, Quinn and Willow-Wisp, who are making the long journey south from Vermont to Florida. And moreover, they're doing so on foot, which makes the journey even longer and more treacherous considering the winter conditions. But at this point, things have started to warm up as they enter into the state of Georgia, tracking parallel to the highway I-75, which leads all the way south into Florida. They have mostly maintained to the woods or the more rural areas. But of course, need overcomes desire, and a need to stop in a place where they can resupply, gather some resources, and for the Hamid-born actually be in touch with society once more has brought them to a rest stop along the highway. As you approach, it is sparsely occupied with vehicles as it gets to the late afternoon hours. Not a lot of truckers have pulled over for the night just as yet, as there is still some sunlight in the sky, creating illumination over the atmosphere. But there are a couple of trucks and a handful of cars parked along one side, individuals going to and fro from the rest station building that houses most of the vending machines and bathrooms. But as you arrive, the scene is yours.
Quinn will make sure that Willow is paying attention to him in some way, even having to gesture her to look towards him and say, all right, so we're going to be in a population with some humans.
Okay.
So you need to be more acting like a human and not curious to the world as a young adult that you are.
But it's loud and there's lots of sounds. Like everywhere.
I know.
They're very loud. And I do need to know what they are. Because, like, there's so many things. And then the road is loud. And that's distracting. And I would like that to be less distracting. But I can't do anything about it because I can't go yell at the cars because you said that was bad and I shouldn't do that because that looks weird. So I'm just trying to take everything in a way that's, you know, not weird. Am I doing bad? I feel like I'm doing bad.
No, you're doing just fine. You just look a little bit more curious for someone your age. So we're just gonna stop into the rest stop. I gotta pick up a couple of things. Make sure we're still rationed out with human foods if need be. And might show you what a bathroom looks like.
Can we get more Pop-Tarts?
I think I have enough money for Pop-Tarts, yes.
The brown sugar ones, because those were good. Those were good.
Could you both give me a dexterity and stealth or subterfuge roll as you are approaching from the woods around the rest stop, not actually arriving in a vehicle of your very own so as to blend in with those that are here, or at least to not appear suspicious. This roll will dictate whether anybody in the parking lot notices you coming out of nowhere.
4 successes.
Four successes as well.
Excellent. So blending in seamlessly, finding a nice spot between two trucks to move out of the woods and into the rest station area as a whole, you find that nobody's watching you. However, Willow, you have been making a concentrated effort ever since your encounter with the big, bad, scary rook to try and cover your tracks, or at least to be aware of what's been following you, if anything at all. So I'd like you to give me a wits and survival check.
Three successes.
Okay, with 3 successes, you could tell up until the border of Vermont, as you were leaving the state, there was a definite presence behind you, a very threatening, looming presence that kept its distance, but only so much distance, enough that it could keep track of where you are, where you were going, what you were up to. But as soon as you left the state of Vermont and continued southward, that presence has dissipated. It has fallen back more and more and is pretty much, as far as you can tell, gone altogether. So now you feel fairly confident and comfortable, aside from the other potential threats of being in the woods, that nothing should be too problematic. And now, especially that since you're out of the mountains, you don't have to worry about mountain lions or anything like that as much. So as you enter into the rest station area, there is a well-manicured lawn, several picnic tables, some of them even with shelters overhead in case the weather becomes too inclement. And then there's a large concrete building that contains the offices, the vending machines, and the bathrooms. You may continue.
All right. So we got Pop-Tarts, the brown sugar kind. I think we do need to get you some shoes. It's a little weird still.
No, thank you. I used
Yes,
the thank
Willow.
you, like you said.
used-
No, thank you. I'm good though. Thank you. I'm good. Thank you. No, thank
I'm
you.
gonna buy you some flip-flops at least.
They look so deflated. Their entire it's like that sort of like teenage almost like, no, don't make me do the thing. I don't wanna. Just written all over their face.
So the vending machines inside the rest stop are fairly well stocked. You can get the individual packaged Pop-Tarts. There's also energy drinks, candy bars, trail mix, a whole variety of products. As you're looking over the vending machine, making your selections, a man exits the bathroom who looks to be in his late 30s, possibly early 40s. He's wearing a plaid button-up shirt and some jeans that go down to sneakers. He has a obvious bandage on his head, like wrapped around his head, and he is putting on a ball cap to obscure the bandage on his head as he approaches. He looks a little bit ragged, a little bit worse for wear, but he's got a very strong trucker aesthetic to him as he gives a very polite and actually surprisingly pleasant smile to the both of you as he approaches the vending machine next to you and starts thumbing through some quarters in his hand to make his selection.
Quinn will take in the image of this individual and ponder an idea, kind of pulling Willow a little bit away from him. And I will kind of stage whisper to Willow, hey, I think I have an idea on how we might be able to get down faster.
Yeah, but I thought we couldn't talk about that in front of people.
No, I meant get down to Florida faster, not get down in shape and form.
That's what that's but like, how would we get there faster if we didn't do that?
You're not gonna
What?
like this, but if we talk to this gentleman, he might maybe convince him to take us with him if he's going down that way.
You can see that the gears not turning, the thoughts not connecting, not understanding at all what you're getting at. Very, very confused. Just head cocked to the side, eyes narrowed. Like, I don't
Quinn will
understand.
sigh and say, I'm gonna try and convince him to take us into his car or truck or whatever he has.
It's so loud. It already hurts my head to be walking next to the highway. No, please, no.
At this point, the man chuckles as he's inserting the coins into the machine, and he gives another look over to the both of you and smiles and says, "You headed to Florida?"
Quinn will give a very genuine looking smile and say, yeah, actually, we are. And we're actually, we're looking for someone to kind of help us hike down that way.
You're a long way from civilization. You've been hitchhiking this whole way?
Yeah, we got a little detoured from where we were originally thinking about going. So, you know, it happens, I guess. You know, we're working on it.
Well, I am headed that way, just a little bit south of the Tampa region. Although, this is a little odd to be not exactly directly propositioned in a rest stop. What's bringing you to Florida?
Change of scenery. We're from up north, and we're getting a little tired of the cold.
Go ahead and give me a manipulation and subterfuge. While it's not an outright lie, you are definitely obscuring a great deal of truth with that statement.
Five successes.
He nods his head in understanding. Yeah, just a big haul through the northern states there, and it was still mighty chilly up there. He looks over at Willow and then down at her feet. Where's your shoes, little lady?
Willow has been standing there looking at this man with the most unblinking wide eyes and the sort of gritted teeth smile, because they think that's how that you smile to look friendly, and this is how you smile. Hood pulled up over their head. Just I lost them.
He furrows his brow as he looks over the two of you. Well, wouldn't be right if I let you continue this walk barefoot. It's a good several hundred miles, probably 500 or so still to go. Maybe I can take you at least part of the way. Although, I hope you like dogs.
Dog's
Oh, we
cool.
love dogs.
Dog's great.
Well, all right. Why don't you all use the facilities if you need to, and we'll grab some snacks here and we'll be on our way.
Much appreciated. And I will kind of pull Willow away towards the woman's bathroom and show her what a gas station bathroom looks like.
So are you going in with her, Quinn?
Yes, of course I am.
Of course you are. Why not? Actually, I will say there's probably a family restroom in between the two, male and female designated restrooms. So if you wanted to go in together, the two of you could go into that bathroom. You definitely feel the peculiar watching gaze of the man as the two of you go into the same bathroom together, but he shrugs it off as he continues to push some buttons on the vending machine, and you hear the familiar whirring and thud of something dropping off of one of the shelves. As you step into the bathroom, it is, for the most part, fairly clean. They do a pretty good job at most of these rest stations, usually having someone on staff 24 hours a day to make sure that nothing is too amiss, and this one is no exception. You see that the toilet paper holder is about 2/3 empty, so there's only about 1/3 of the toilet paper left. There is a toilet, sink, and mirror to look in, but it is fairly spacious enough for the two of you as it's meant to accommodate a family. There's even one of those pull-down diaper changing tables if the need suits.
All right, so quick education. That, and he'll point to the toilet, is where humans go to pee and poop. Because we're civilized in that way. And then that, he'll point to the sink, is where you go to wash your hands after you use the bathroom, because that is the appropriate thing to do with soap.
But the whole isn't. It's supposed to away from where you do other things, so it doesn't infect the food and stuff. And there's food. That seems not good for the food.
That's why it's in a private stall or bathroom. It's away from everything enough.
Also, the floor is very slippy. I don't like the floor. The floor is bad. Why is the floor bad?
No
I
one
don't
likes
like
the floors here.
It's sticky and also slippery. I don't like that. Why is it like that? It's not. This is a bad texture.
It's not a question to ask. You just live with it.
They sort of stare at the ground and ponder that for a bit, and it's like, okay. So, why are you in here?
To show you these things, and then I leave.
Goodbye?
Goodbye,
Hello.
and I will
Which is
close the
word?
door and leave.
Okay.
So, Willow, as you're left behind in the bathroom, considering the stickiness of the floors, the reflective sheen off of the tiles, it's starting to click, maybe just a little bit into place. Oh, this is why humans wear shoes, so they don't have to touch the floors with their bare skin feet. Okay, that makes a little bit more sense. Is it worth the discomfort? But at least they're not touching the sticky floors. So as you set about your business, Quinn, you step back out of the restroom and you see that the man is seated over on a bench. He's got a candy bar unwrapped that he's chewing on, and he looks over to you with a kind of mirthful smile and says, "Everything working as it should in there?"
Yeah. I just needed to make sure she was okay. She wasn't feeling too well. Just making sure my little sister's okay.
Yeah, your sister, she's a special sort, ain't she?
Yeah, you can say that. Not all there.
It's awful kind of you to bringing her south with you. So where are you headed specifically?
Would I know it was Tampa? Because we weren't told specifically Tampa. We were pretty much told like the area that would be Tampa.
Yeah, I think you would at least know that region. You're going to the Tampa. At least it's a good place to start. It's one of the only major cities that in Clearwater along the West Coast that far south. So knowing that they mentioned the bay specifically, there's only one real bay in Florida of any renown, and that is the Tampa Bay. So you could start there. You could look into St. Petersburg or Clearwater or Tampa. Those are three kind of bigger cities that are at least a good place to start, if any.
Okay, with that knowledge, then yeah, he would say, yeah, we're looking to go to Tampa. We hear some good things, and hey, there's a nice bay over there that we can kind of check out.
It is nice at that. I'm actually from Florida myself, so I'll get you mighty close to there. Probably not exactly in the city, but close enough that it shouldn't be too much further for you to get there, and hopefully the conditions have warmed up down there enough that you won't find yourself left out in the cold.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I can offer you what money I have for gas, but I don't have a lot of money on me.
The company's paying for the gas. Don't even worry about that.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
So you said you were sick of the cold. Where you come from originally?
Vermont.
Vermont? That is very cold. I can see why you'd want to flee from there this time of year.
Yeah, it's a lot. I mean, there's other things too, but the cold was the main reason for leaving.
So you've traveled some 400 or so miles already?
Yeah, just doing a lot of hitchhiking, asking people for help, and trying to get down here as best we can.
Well, don't you worry. I'll get you the rest of the way. Should be able to make it in about 6 hours or so.
Oh, that would be great. Thank you.
What's your name? You and your sister.
My name's Quinn, and my sister's name is Willow.
Those are nice names. I'm Roy. Nice to meet you. And he holds out a large, weathered hand towards you.
Quinn will take out his hand and do the social thing. Very tight-gripped shake.
He smiles appreciatively as you give a strong handshake and then returns back to his candy bar. After a few moments, Willow, what are you doing there?
So, for a good long moment, Willow just sort of examines the space, and then does fully go through the thoughts of, like, shoes? No shoes. No shoes. No, I need... See, no, that's what Hamids should do. Hamids should just make everything dirt again and remove the floors, and then it's not a problem. Because dirt feels great. Dirt's good. Let's just do dirt. Dirt's great. And then you can be in touch with Gaia and do the stompies on Gaia's surface like you're supposed to, because that's what the feet are for, is to make sure you are connected to Gaia through the soil. And comes to that conclusion very happily. And then does go over to the sink and then sees the knobs and does play with that for a good 3 minutes. And then figures out that one's hot and one's cold. And then it's got one of those air dryers and does just sit there pressing the button to feel the air and just is like, what is that? Is there a spirit in there? Spends about 10 solid minutes in there just playing with the air compressor and all of the other things in the room. Doesn't actually go to the restroom. Not at all.
So outside in the lobby, the driver eventually does look over at you, Quinn, and say, "You all right in there? Does she need some assistance?"
Yeah, you're right. It's been a little bit of time. I'll go check on her. And he'll get up and make his way. He'll knock and try to act like, oh, hey, is everything okay in there? Before he just opens the door.
Okay, so as you enter into the bathroom, you can see that Willow is fascinated by the hand dryer. Everything else looks like it's been, for the most part, untouched. In fact, one of the sink handles is still on, the water's still running in the sink, but otherwise, she clearly has not used the bathroom yet, or else it probably would be a bigger mess, or at least very noticeable.
Quinn will walk into the bathroom, splash some water on his hand, and then splash it on the toilet as if the toilet has been used. Turning off the knobs of the sink. Say, all right, let's go.
There's a spirit in there. There's a spirit stuck in there. Why
What?
is there's a wind spirit stuck in there and it's making see the and
No,
presses the
no,
button,
no.
the noise happens.
No,
We gotta-
that's
we
human
gotta help
mechanics.
it.
No, there's a lot of wiring in there. That's not a spirit.
What?
That's human made.
How is it making the noise then?
Humans like noise.
But it's yelling. It's screaming for help, clearly, because that's not the noise that wind spirits are supposed to make, right? I don't think so.
I
gotta
don't think that's our problem, Willow. Why don't we just go?
What? But Gaia says okay and gets yanked out of the room.
So as the two of you come out of the bathroom, the man, Roy, stands up from his seat on the bench, kind of with the awkwardest but trying to cover it smile as possible. Y'all ready to go?
Yes, sir.
All right. He then heads out one of the doorways, headed towards the trucker side of the rest stop, and ends up approaching one of the trucks that's parked a little bit further down in the parking lot, not the ones you slithered your way through. And as soon as you get within sight of the truck, a raucous barking starts happening as a pit bull hops up into the window and just starts barking ravenously in both of your direction. Roy calls out, "Rodney, calm down. We got some guests joining us." The dog barks a couple more times, but after being shouted at by Roy, he kind of backs down off of the window and starts whimpering, whining, and maybe a little bit growling instead. As you both approach the vehicles, or the truck, go ahead and give me a charisma or manipulation and animal ken to try and soothe the supernatural-esque response that Rodney is having to your presence.
Three successes for Quinn.
That is 7 successes for Willow.
Okay. So while Rodney keeps a wary eye on you, Quinn, as soon as Willow approaches with the same bright, innocent smile, the excited look in her eyes, Rodney's tail just starts wagging and tongue lolls out of his mouth as he hops off of the front seat, allowing you to both move the seat forward and climb into the back behind before he takes his position back on the seat again, facing both of your direction and just staring again, tongue still lolling out, tail still wagging. Roy gives a chuckle and a shake of his head as he climbs into the driver's seat and starts turning on the truck. You'll have to excuse my boy. He's had quite a journey this time. We had a little bit of a, well, I suppose an incident a couple weeks back, but it's all fine now.
That's all right. You know, dog's just trying to protect its, its dad, its master.
Yeah, he's a good boy, and he reaches over and scritches behind the ears, and the dog just pulls its head back with the squinty eyes. As soon as the truck is on, he pulls out of the parking space and emerges onto the highway, headed south. For the most part, it's quiet, and after a few minutes, he turns on the radio, and you hear some country western anthems come out of the speakers of the radio. He then fidgets with the dial after a moment, and it changes to a hard rock station, a classic rock station, and he turns it down enough so that it's not blaring out of the speakers and continues to drive quietly. For the moment, the two of you have a second in the back seat to whisper amongst yourselves with the covering of the sounds of the music playing, to talk amongst yourselves.
I do want to say, as we were getting in, I did totally like nod in deference, like thank you, sir, for allowing me into your territory to the dog, before going to sit down, and then sitting in the back the moment the music starts is like fully like plugging ears and trying to not, just sort of like, I'm being subtle. My fingers are in my ears and my shoulders are up, but that's the best I got here.
Quinn would try to help Willow with the ear things by kind of pulling her closer to him and putting his hands over her ears to try and negate the sounds. So it looks more like a sibling hug in that way.
Roll me a Willow. Roll me a composure and resolve.
Two successes.
Okay, so while the music is loud, it's not unbearable. And due to the efforts he's made to turn the volume down, it actually does sate the undesirable quality of it. And even noticing your discomfort, he ends up turning it down so much that it's barely a murmur coming out of the speakers as he continues to drive. Occasionally you can hear him speaking into a little CV radio, talking to other truckers, speaking in a language that you can't even understand, Willow, using the terminology he's using. Quinn, you know this to be typical trucker speak, warning about, speed traps or any of the hazards that could be on the road, asking ahead about any traffic backups, hearing back that maybe there's a backup near Atlanta, as there typically is, and otherwise the conversation dies off pretty quickly. As your journey continues southward, what's going through both of your minds as you find yourself getting closer and closer to your destination, and yet farther and farther from the world you've known your entire lives? Quinn, we'll start with you and then we'll go to Willow.
Quinn is definitely still questioning if this is the right move. He definitely believes that, a spirit has told him that this is a place to go, so he's trying to follow that, but he still teeters with his decision making, his last decision not being the best idea he's ever had. So he's feeling nervous, he's feeling concerned, but he's hopeful that Tampa will be something new for him and Willow.
And Willow.
Willow is just sort of staring out the windows and just seeing everything going by so fast, and she's like, this is faster than I would run. This is weird. I don't know how I feel about that. And then I can't feel Gaia under my feet. I don't like that. And it's just sort of noticing the sensations in their body of that disconnect from their normal full connection to Gaia, and moving so fast feels wrong in a way that they're not going to articulate any of this to anyone. They're going to sort of keep this in, but like that sort of face that is all squinched up, like they're deep in thought in a way that seems troubling, because they're just feeling everything, and everything feels foreign and weird and different, and they're getting used to that, and they can't really fully think about like the implications of moving south, because they don't know what borders are. I don't understand what that is. The moving by everything so fast is what's really getting to Willow.
As you continue your drive, most of it passing in silence, maybe a little bit of small talk, primarily directed at you, Quinn. I need both of you to roll me a wits and awareness check. I will say, Willow, your awareness is going to definitely be at a -1, only because you have been so thrown off by everything that's happening with the vehicle and this method of transportation.
1 success for Quinn.
Same here.
Okay, so as you're driving on your ride down, something catches your eye off the side of the road as you're passing what appears to be a farm, but it passes by so quick you can't exactly tell what it was. The thing that you did see was several horses just kind of feeding off of the side of the road, but there was something that just kind of caught your eye, but both of you are just too distracted, whether it's by the conversation from the trucker or from the fact that you're in a vehicle, a large, noisy, massive vehicle for the first time in your life, that you're unable to catch what it is as you continue driving. Your destination in sight, your destiny laid out before you, for better or worse. And with that, we transition to our next scene, where someone else is to learn about an obstacle in their destiny. Delphine, it's getting into the later afternoon, and after a long dictated history lesson about Guru and Guru politics, your lesson comes to a close and Charles prepares to move on to his other responsibilities. And while you paid as much attention as you could during that entire lesson, it did come off a lot like a droning lecture, which caused your mind to wander from time to time. And it wandered back to a memory at Piney Point. That glimpse you got at the computer screen, that image of a baby wearing a black Santa hat around the time of Christmas. You think about the password, my brother's keeper. You think about all of this information that you have yet to share with Forged, and how much it weighs upon you having this secret knowledge. As you look to your mentor and your teacher, the very stoic Silverfang, you see an opportunity to get some much needed advice and perhaps to get a little bit of backup for when you do decide to reveal this information to Forged. The scene is yours.
Hey, before you head out, I wanted to ask you about some stuff.
Charles pauses as he's packing up a small satchel and then looks over in your direction. All right. What do you want to talk about?
When we first got here and you and I sat down and had that talk about how to get rid of mine and Forge's shame, you told me that his brother was still alive.
Correct.
What else do you know about that?
Very little, unfortunately. My information is rather dated, but with Artie's assistance, as we were looking into all of you, we did catch occasional glimpses of an individual that we believed to be Forge's brother. And he only pops up every now and then. It's not consistent. It's not to a specific location. It started in Michigan, but then journeyed south and west. We've been trying to keep facial recognition and track of this particular individual, as we have with most of your loved ones, to ensure that our adversaries aren't trying to gain some leverage. But I have very little intelligence besides that.
At Piney Point, I know you said that the servers weren't a priority, but I went anyways. Forged, Ray, and Juniper were more than capable of dealing with Vanessa and whatever else was in the admin office with them. I went with Stakes to the server room. And there were pictures of Forge's kid in the computer, and the password was Jacob Fletcher.
Let's see.
Password hint was my brother's keeper.
Well, Vanessa was known to play mind games, although the image of the child does give me pause, whether it's something that they had gotten from social media or through other means. Anyone who wants to learn about
When
his... Go ahead.
When I've had visions of Forged in the past, the first vision I ever had of him, there was a large wolf, Fenris, but then I fell back into a black spiral. And then the most recent vision, after the storage unit, I found myself in a labyrinth. And there was no way out of it. I had to force a vision just to get the password hints. I don't think it's a coincidence.
Charles contemplates that for a moment. Well, the talk of Fenris and the spiral doesn't surprise me entirely. Due to your connection to Michigan and everything that appeared to have happened up there, you may have had some foresight to what was going on before any of us became aware. I can't begin to figure out what the spirits are trying to do at any given time. They play games that I prefer not to indulge in if I'm able to, and I don't put a lot of stake in what they say or do. However, the relevance of it, that's more than just coincidental or convenient.
He went missing when he was around the age that we start showing signs to kin seekers. What if a kin seeker found him, but it wasn't one of ours? No one found him afterwards. They couldn't find a trace of him in the articles that I found.
It is possible, although highly unlikely. Hereditary guru have become few and far between, although I'm finding myself crossing paths with them.
Says the Albrecht.
Yes, I know. But I was an anomaly. You have to understand. They had believed that the bloodline had ended. Though it's not entirely impossible. But if that's the case, this could be a far greater threat. More specifically to Forged than anyone else, if he is connected, even through family, to the spiral threat.
I haven't been able to tell him yet. I want to. But the last time he got upsetting news, Well, he still owes you that money, doesn't he?
I have a feeling Forged will always be in my debt for as long as I'm able to draw breath. So what do you propose?
I want to tell him at the very least that I know that his kid is potentially being held by either Pentex or, at worst case scenario, Black Spiral dancers.
And what do you believe he will do with that information? Showing his self-control on full display the last time you gave him anything even remotely relating to it.
Me keeping this information to him myself doesn't help him.
Why not? He's made a great deal of progress since being here. This could cause a relapse or a distraction.
Or it could motivate him to getting his kid back. Charles, it's a kid. It's a little baby.
I understand that. I do. But it's also a child he neglected and abandoned.
It's a child he was crying over when we were driving back from that last mission before Piney Point. He's scared for his kid. He doesn't know what's going on with his kid. Instead, he's getting vague text messages from someone holding his kid hostage. He's a member of the Sept. We should be fucking helping him.
I'm not disagreeing with that, Delphine, but help comes in many forms. Sometimes the best thing you can do for someone is help them move on. Think back to that first vision you spoke about, teetering between Fenris and the spiral. You may not believe it, but what you're postulating could be simply shoving him into the spiral's hands. I didn't say it was going to be easy. I didn't say it was going to be nice. But he is also your packmate. You are his theurge. This is one of those moments where you have to decide, based off of what you've learned, if that's the right course of action. But realize that there is a risk, a great risk associated with it. Assuming he doesn't run off and get himself killed, you may be handing a volatile asset to the enemy.
She pauses at that and considers his words. You're not wrong. It is a risk. But I don't think that it's our choice to make. I trust Forge. I trust him. He's shown fear in the past in regards to the spiral and with Fenris and all that stuff. He doesn't want to end up he doesn't want to end up with aligned with that. I know he doesn't. I think we have to start trusting that he can make these big decisions about the kind of person he wants to be. And stop treating him like a child.
That is one route to take. We're correct. But when it comes to leadership, It is your decision to make, because you will have to deal with the consequences of that decision. Assuming Forge doesn't go and get himself killed, what if he turns? How will that weigh upon your conscience?
If he turns, I can't see it. I can't see it happening, Charles. I can't. I know what you're trying to do. You're trying to show all these options, but this is honestly your fault because you're the one that put me on him, and now me and him are really close. That's my best friend now, and it's your fault. So I naturally am going to expect the best from him.
And how did that work out the first time, Delphine? What's done can be undone, whether you like it or not. He almost killed you the last time.
And you could have easily killed anyone when you were his age. Eliza says that this shit happens to us all the time. We lose control. Isn't that what you elders constantly say? You don't make a big deal of it when it happens in the moment. These things happen. It's expected for young Guru to occasionally lose control and smack it out.
As you mentioned losing control, you can see a momentary pained look cross Charles's face before it hardens very quickly. I'm making sure you see everything that could lay before you. Your visions haven't been of success. They haven't been giving you a path towards victory or telling you the way. All they have been are warnings. You saw yourself in the labyrinth. What do you think that means?
I also saw Sean dead, consumed by spirals. He's still here.
In body, yes.
They're warnings to try to guide to a better spot, a better road. Me keeping this information from him will only hurt any trust that we have built if I keep it from him any longer.
Nobody understands that better than me. But you're right. And if you believe that this is the best course of action, you have learned a great deal. You have matured a great deal. You have become a leader of your pack. If you believe that this is the course, there's no better time than now. We're in a calm period following Piney Point. Things are fairly stable within the city. But let me tell you this. If indeed his progeny is in the possession of the spiral, this is the greatest challenge or threat you will ever face, one that very few have ever survived. There's a reason 3 septs fell within minutes to a horde of spiral dancers. realistically, and with no insult intended, what chance do the 5 of you have?
That's why we're going to be smart about it. I won't let him go in recklessly. And I know that Ray and Juniper won't either. Stakes definitely won't.
And if he loses control, who is going to stop him?
We will.
Everything I've been taught, everything I learned, tells me you should not do this. That you should consider a loss, that you should live to fight another battle. But as I've come to learn in my time here, most of the things I was taught were wrong. Most of the things I was taught kept me from growing and connecting. So if you believe this is the best course of action, you should make sure you are prepared for it. Because one of your numbers, your leader, has already allowed himself to become a plaything of the worm. What asset will he be in this mission? Or will he just be a liability? An advantage for the enemy going in? You're going to set out on a wild goose chase. You should make sure your house is in order, and as we both know, it's not currently, by a great deal.
And we're going to take care of that. 3 months, remember?
Yes, but can he wait that long? When you tell him a countdown clock begins, how long or how short it is, I can't tell you, but from what I've learned of Forged, it's a very short timer. Do you have the time to spare?
I guess we're going to have to find out.
You know I support you in whatever it is you decide to do. Even as reckless as this may seem, I see the care and concern put into it. The care for your packmate. Unfortunately, sometimes caring means withholding for their sake
Not in
and the
this
sake.
pack. Not in this pack. Ray withheld for over a year. And all it did was hurt our trust in him.
And if he'd told you the first day, would you even be here? Would you even be alive? Would he?
I'm telling him, Charles.
I understand. And as I said, I support you. I think it's a foolish endeavor to go chasing after this child, if they are indeed in the possession of the dancers. Assuming they haven't been left in the labyrinth on their own as it is. But once you start down this road, nothing will stop what comes next. And I can't say what that is.
The timer already started, Charles. He knew that he's known his kid is alive for a while, and he knows that someone has him, and someone texted him a photo. The timer already started. The least we can do is at least control our end of things.
The child is one vulnerability, yes, but you could be potentially exposing another.
She just sighs and just shakes her head a little bit.
Again, if this is the path you're choosing to walk, you have my support. I will ensure, if he loses control, he doesn't kill you for telling him. But I can't stop him if he chooses a path of self-destruction.
That's not your job to prevent.
Actually, it is.
For us to help him through. That's okay. I meant more in the pack sense.
I understand.
After I tell him it's going to be our job to be there for him and to keep him from that.
And what about your responsibilities to the Sept? Your newly given roles?
She thinks for a moment, and she contemplates just the patterns so far with the taunting texts, it's a taunt, like the text that Forge got sent that he told us about. That was a taunt. And she thinks about the Piney Point being the Piney Point location in itself being so close to the Sept. And connecting it a little bit, she has a hypothesis so far, and she voices it in this moment, just thinking out loud. That server information was local. And if they're already sending him taunting messages through text messages, then it's one of two things. They're either going to try to lure him alone there, or they're going to try to come here. From what we saw in Hell in Michigan, it seems more likely that they could potentially try to pull a similar ambush on us. So I don't believe that the kid is that far away. Maybe not in the city, but I don't think that they're across the country.
If this child is in the possession of Guru, they could be across the world. Don't be naive, Delphine. They have the Umbra at their command, just as we do, and they can traverse large distances in moments.
I'm just saying what I think.
And I'm telling you the truth. They could also be trying to lure you away so that they can ambush the Sept. Maybe it isn't about you or him at all. There is a greater game being played at all times to focus on self-importance in moments like this is to play into their hands.
I can promise that at the very least, I won't go anywhere without concrete evidence, and I wouldn't leave without saying something.
I know. And please understand, I'm doing what I have to by telling you these things, not what I want to.
I think I've learned in the past year that you don't exactly beat around the bush.
I don't. And it's kept me alive thus far, as well as my pack mates and this sept.
And I'll keep my pack mates alive and safe. And I'll keep this Cairn safe and this sept safe. But in my mind, part of keeping my pack safe is helping them when they need it. This is something that is really hurting him, what happened. And he wants nothing more than for his kid to be safe. If I can help him in any way within my power, I'm going to try to do that.
If you wanted to keep them safe, why aren't they here?
I'm going to have to assume that it's because Forge didn't reassure her in any capacity. Because we all know he's super smooth with his words.
Then maybe he doesn't believe that he can keep them safe. So what is he doing? Again, you are the one who sees the path. You advise the pack leader in picking a path. Or, depending on how it all shakes out, maybe you're going to be picking the path. But no matter what, as I said, you start down that road, there is no turning back. And whatever consequences come with it, come with this decision right now.
And I've made it.
At this point, Charles looks over to the opposite side of the clearing, where Forged is half-heartedly attempting to clean up the cairn. Very well. Then you should tell him now. I can't afford another storage. Well, I can, but I'm not going to pay for another storage unit.
You should just make him work there and work off the debt.
I have a better idea in mind.
She does not press and will just stand up from the chair. Well, you'll know if it went bad if you see fur.
I'll be close by.
And she'll start heading over to Forged.
Forged, focus hasn't come easy. Not for several weeks now, not since your child and his mother left, not since you received the vague and somewhat goading text message. Not since you killed Vanessa, your first, at least human looking kill that you can remember. There's been a lot going on in your head. And as much as you try to distract yourself with being the protector of Ebor or fulfilling your responsibilities, this knowledge acts like weights around your ankle, making everything that much more difficult. And you've never liked difficult. Before Delphine approaches, what's going on in Forge's head?
Right now, with the knowledge weighing on him, Forge is currently doesn't think that anyone's around to care, to notice, taking a quote-unquote small break from the work. Kind of standing by, hoping no one sees him, just not do anything for a bit, as he considers everything going on with him, the just bad thing after bad thing happening back to back, just being like he can't just get a single fucking break from anything. It's kind of a little bit of self-misery and wallowing it as he just shakes his head to himself, kind of pissed off at the world around him for making all this shit happen to him.
So at this point, Delphine approaches, having finished up her lessons with Charles on the other side of the clearing. Maybe she's here to get to work. Maybe you can convince her to do the work for you, and you can just supervise. But is that who you are anymore? Even though the temptation is there, even though it crosses your mind, you have grown rather close to the Theurge. Bonded in trauma, but also in victory. Delphine, as you approach, scene is yours to make your presence known.
You know, I think that's like the 5th break you've taken in an hour.
He start a little bit startled that someone just interrupted his little break. Just, oh shit, what? No, I was just taking, resting for a moment, just considering what I got to do next. Just whatever. Just kind of gets back to it a little bit.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. You don't have to. I'm not gonna give you crap over it. I was trying to joke. Maybe I feel like I'm honestly just as bad at it as Juniper is. We're not good at it.
Kinda, but it's also just, I know Charles usually around somewhere, and if he catches me slacking off, I don't want to do any more training right now. I'm fucking tired of it, man.
No, Charles isn't the one you worry about when it comes to SEP chores. It's Eliza.
That's why I only go to her when I want to talk about touchy-feely stuff, the spirit stuff, and get high on weed.
Hey, do you have that picture that they texted you?
You see, his demeanor of being kind of, happy to see Delphine in his own way, a little smile, kind of, loosening up a little bit, immediately just tensing up. The smile drops as you really know how to keep a vibe going. Yeah, hold on, I can show you it. And he'll pull out his phone and pull out the picture and just kind of, he doesn't actually look at it himself. He just hands the phone over to Delphine while avoiding looking at it.
She'll see the picture and see it is the same one, right? Just the exact same one.
Yeah, it's the same picture.
She stares at it for a few moments, and Forge, you'll see just, it's like she's not surprised to see the photo. Like she's looking at it, and it's not a deep study she gives of the photo. When she looks at it, she confirms something, and she'll hand it back to you.
And as you do, he'll like click the home screen, and for a second, you can see his phone background. It's actually a picture that Leah sent him of Cooper playing for a brief moment before he shuts off the phone.
Forged, I know you want to get your kid back. And we all agreed that we were going to help you. So I need to tell you some stuff that I found out while we were at Piney Point.
He takes a deep breath, kind of looks around for a moment. A long exhale. How you're saying this does not bring a whole lot of hope. I'm gonna tell you that. Yeah.
When me and Stakes went to the server rooms, I saw that picture already. It was on their computers. But the password for the computer is the thing that I think you need to know. You see her just instinctively just take a step or two back. I touched the keyboard and I got a vision. And it was a vision of a house, 5 people. And then one of the people, the smallest person, disappearing. And the hint for the password was my brother's keeper. You told me his name once. I put it in and it let me in.
The initial reaction is kind of like a look of disbelief at first, like, no way, right? Like, she's just fucking with me for a second. And as kind of seeing the seriousness of the situation, his face drops more into he almost just looked kind of not exactly mad, but bitter, as he just left out a small, kind of jaded, bitter chuckle to himself, like, fucking course. Not only do I got stuff going on with my kid, with Piney Point, the Pentex bullshit, this spiral, whatever, now they get my brother involved too. My fucking god, of course. I can't catch a goddamn break.
Forged.
See, kind of...
She's kind of like got like, you see her like kind of like one foot planted behind her, kind of just like a firmer stance just in case, just because she's kind of like gearing up in case things go south. But the look on her face, like while her body is like tense for a fight if needed, like like reflex ready, her face is showing nothing but concern and empathy in this moment.
Delphine, I need you to give me a charisma and persuasion check, or intimidation, whatever you prefer. Depending on how well you roll, Forged will get bonus dice to his frenzy roll.
Got it. I'm assuming I'm at 1 rage.
I'd say you're at 2. This is a pretty intense moment, and while you were dedicated to making this happen. I'm sure you in no way were looking forward to it, especially remembering the
Not at
aches
all.
and cares and recovery of the last time.
My body remembers the pain of the crater-sized hole in that freaking storage unit. Okay, 3 successes.
Okay. Forged, you can take an additional die on your composure and resolve check.
What's my rage at?
Your rage is at a 3 right now, but it might spike to a 5 depending on how this goes.
You know, that's what I was thinking, but I had to make sure. Okay, not bad. 3 successes. We'll take it.
Okay. Your rage is now a 4, but you do not lose complete control yet. Depending on how this conversation goes, I might make you roll again.
Forge sees the stance that you take, sees the concern and compassion in your face. And he's definitely clearly heated, but he does take a momentary pause and kind of gets out of his self-pitying for a moment and just bitterness. He'll just say, so what else did you find out? Did you find out anything else about it? Is there something else on there too? If it's just a name, are they just trying to taunt me? What the fuck's going on, Delphine? What do you know?
Vanessa got to us before I could look any further, and she set the place on fire, so I couldn't recover anything. I'm telling you this because especially after last week, you don't want people talking about you behind your back, and you don't want people keeping things. So I'm telling you. Because I believe that you can handle it.
Delphine, I'm not trying to be mad at you. I'm just fucking pissed off of the whole thing. They gotta use my dead brother's name as their fucking password. It's just another level of petty that I can't even begin to believe. Like, what the fuck?
She pauses, realizing that Forge still thinks that he's under the assumption that his brother's dead. And she gives him a look. Forged. The hint was my brother's keeper.
And it's probably just some metaphorical bullshit about how he still haunts me or whatever.
Forge, what if your brother's still alive? How old was he when he
couldn't
went
be.
missing?
No,
How old was he when he went?
couldn't be.
Forged. How old was he when he went missing?
Look, it's why would we talk about that? It's not. It couldn't be possible. It really couldn't be. He'd been gone for so long. If there was any hint of him being alive, I would have known. They searched for him. I didn't see anything else, so I no,
Forged, your brother's still alive.
No, but how can you say that? We don't know that. We don't. And you see, he turns away, kind of takes a few steps away from you, kind of pacing for a moment. No, it's, dude, don't fuck with me right now about this. Come on.
I'm not fucking with you, Forged. I'm talking to you. I'm trying to be here for you and tell you things that I think you deserve to know.
Forged, give me another check, please.
Should I still keep the +1 from earlier?
Yeah.
I'm so scared right now.
3 successes.
Okay. You are maintaining your rage 4. You are maintaining your cool for now.
You'll see he like stops and then suddenly turns towards you. So you'll say, "No, Delphine, he can't be. There's literally no way he can be alive. Because you see he wants to say something, but then he stops himself and he lets out a shaky exhale. He thinks about what he wants to say. He just kind of mutters to himself, fuck, no, oh no. Look,
What?
Delphine, he can't be alive, because if he's alive, then it's my no. Do you have anything besides that to know that he's alive? Do you know? Do you have anything?
She kind of glances over her shoulder a little bit over in the direction Charles would be.
Charles isn't there.
And fuck. Oh boy. Okay, so not seeing him there, she steels herself, takes another step back, another preventative step back, and she'll take a deep breath. I know he's alive. His face has been caught on facial recognition programs.
You get to witness perhaps something that not normally seen in people, of someone's whole world just collapsing and getting turned upside down in real time for him, as his face just goes through a mix of shock, disbelief, despair, and anguish and guilt, kind of shifting rapidly between those emotions, as that he'll just say, "What?"
It's in this moment that she'll kind of square her shoulders. After Piney Point, I started looking into things. I started looking into your brother. And I did some digging online. She's lying, but she's just trying to make it. She's trying to basically make it. She's not trying to implicate Artie and Charles just yet. She's taking it on herself.
Give me a manipulation and subterfuge, wits and insight for you, Forged.
One success from yours truly.
All right, I got 3 successes. That's all I need. I'm not rolling willpower.
Yeah, as far as it seems, she must have found him somehow. Of course, she could also be full of shit. How would she know what he looks like?
That's also true. He kind of pauses, thinking, like, kind of difficult for him to think anything, as his brain is racked with all these emotions and thoughts, as And he'll just say, how do you even know what he looks like? What program did you use? What I
The
Me and my family
articles
searched for so long.
the articles are easy to find online. If you told me and Rory about it. I found the articles. I aged them up on on one of those AI programs, the free ones that you can get online.
He's kind of scrunching at his hair, one hand kind of grabbing at it a little bit, thinking what I said, which does make sense in his head, though he's a little confused as to why, she didn't just ask Artie, to be honest, because that'd probably be better. Not entirely, out of question, as he'll just say, where was he? Where has he been this whole time? If he'd been alive, why didn't he come back?
How old was he when he went missing?
He was just a kid, man. We were like 12, 14, I don't know. I don't remember, man.
14. So about the time that some Geru start potentially shifting and showing signs for kin seekers. It's maybe he's one of us. Maybe he didn't think he could come back.
No, but if it's with us, then he, like, normal Guru shit, he would have been able to come back. He was a good kid. Dude was gonna grow up to be a lot better of a guy than I was, a lot better man than I was. He was nice. He, loved his family more than I ever did. And he would have come back if he had the choice. So
Maybe he didn't have a
What?
choice.
you're saying that Pentex or those spirals stole him?
Maybe.
You just see an immense wave of guilt kind of rock Forge's face as he now contemplates the fact that he was complicit in his brother being potentially kidnapped by Pentex or Black Spiral dancers, which hurts much worse than anything else.
Forge, can you give me another composure and resolve check, please?
God damn it. Come on, dice, tell a good story.
Oh, brutal outcome.
At this point, Forge
what I
loses the wolf. The wolf just leaves him as he drops down to rage 0. Completely devastated, torn apart by the news, guilt overwhelming him. Forge, I also want you to take 2 stains against Toronto as well.
Yeah, I felt that coming. Yeah, he literally falls to his knees and just feeling the news, feeling the fire from within just give out as he just stares and up, not even at you, just up more towards the sky for a moment. As you see, he's actually trying to hold back tears by looking up. Then finally, after a moment, he finally looks down to the ground and you see tears start flowing down. he'll just, he can't even let out like a scream of anger or anguish. It's just a sigh that he just, I saw evidence, Delphine. I found his shoe. I went looking for him, and I could have helped, and I didn't. I threw the fucking shoe away. I could have helped my brother not get kidnapped by these fucking Pentex and the Black Spiral Dancers. Fuck.
Delphine, before you can speak, you hear a voice that only you hear.
Weak. What could he do like this?
I'm gonna activate penumbral senses.
As you do, you don't actually see anything nearby. There's nothing obvious in the immediate surrounds.
He holds his wolf like a baby holds a bottle.
At this point, she will bare her teeth a little bit and just is looking around, eyes narrowed. And she does, instead of stepping away from Ford, she's now stepping closer, and she's assuming a protective stance over him. You aren't welcome here.
So says the almighty Gaia speaker. You really want to help him? Let me in.
You have no voice here.
Suppose that's something he and I have in common then.
No, he has more of a voice than you do. You prey upon people when they are vulnerable because you are cowardly.
A predator detects weakness. His howl is a whimper. Your threats are empty. What could you do against me?
Leave.
I'm only here because of you.
She ignores him now and turns directly to Forged. And she's going to kneel in front of him. Forged. Look at me.
He raises his head up slightly to, not looking directly at you, but he's looking up at you. His head tilts slightly upwards.
You haven't been dealt an easy hand. None of us have. No one in this sept has been dealt an easy hand in life. But we are here for you. We are your strength right now. We are your community. We are your people. We are your family. You are my brother, and I am your sister in this moment. I will do whatever it is in my power to help you. And I will support you.
The Forge's gaze lingers on you. And he kind of lets out a few more tears, kind of takes a few more deep breaths, or sitting up a little bit more straight, looking more towards you. He'll just say, what are we even going to do if they have my brother and my kid? How are we going to get them back? They beat like 3 steps on their own and won. What am I even doing? It's Gaia must have made a mistake, because I tore apart my own family and destroyed future for my own kid. What future am I fighting for?
She's gonna take his hand now, and she's just gonna put it on the ground, pressing her hand on top of his. She doesn't make mistakes. She chose you, and she's giving you a challenge. You need to prove yourself to Gaia. You're fighting for her. You are on the path to becoming a warrior that you need to be. The one as strong as you need to be for her and for whatever future faces all of us.
He'll actually like kind of grasp the earth a little bit, even like pulling up some chunks of dirt. He'll kind of pull it up into his hand, look down at it, and then let it kind of fall back onto the ground. He'll just say, what is the future though without my family? This is your fucking fault, and you and Rory and everyone fucking else for making me care and want to do shit with my family and care about people, because now is what I said would happen. I pushed the boulder up the hill, and now I'm back down at the fucking bottom, and I don't know what to do about it.
Fight. And she's looking right at him, and she still has her hand on the ground, fingers firmly dug into the dirt. Our lives are all fighting now. We fight for ourselves. We fight for our future. We fight for our family. We fight for Gaia. We do not give up. We do not let it. And she just with her free hand, she just gestures to the air around them. We don't let it taunt us when we're low.
Forge takes in those words. It does bring him some levels of comfort. It does ring a little to him, even with the sea of despair threatening to swallow him up right now. As he looks around to the trees, to the grass, to the sky, for all of Gaia, and he gives a wordless nod, and then after a few moments of thinking, he'll say, I know you I just want to know that things are going to work out. I don't. All I've done in my life have been fighting Delphine. Even before this shit, I didn't even need to, but I was. They were at the dickhead. I only lashed out at people who wanted to care about me and wanted to help. For I don't even know why. And this time, I want to know the fight that I'm fighting is gonna end out in something good.
It's in this moment that she's not. Delphine has never been one for prayer, but she offers a silent prayer as she continues to just dig her fingers into the dirt. And she sends a silent prayer to Gaia, to that moment when she first felt that connection to this place and she felt that faintest of heartbeat. And her, with all of her will and hope in her heart, she just sends those thoughts forward.
As you project all of your feelings and thoughts, your hope, mixed with a little bit of fear, maybe even some despair, out, you feel the grass beneath your hand rapidly grow warm and then hot. So hot, in fact, that you have to recoil your hand backwards as a flame spurts up from the ground. Are you ready to listen now?
Forge looks a little surprised at the sudden flame appearing right before him, though considering how often they deal with spirits at this point, it's not too bad, as he'll just kind of sputter out, Ember, what are you doing here?
Returning to you something you've lost. But if you don't carry it with care and concern, you may lose it forever. As she says this, you feel your blood go warm and then hot as you regain a rage. To find what you seek, you must begin at the beginning of the story, where everything went wrong.
Forge considers what that could possibly mean of where everything went wrong, but it becomes kind of apparent to him where everything went wrong as he'll look over to Delphine. He'll say, Delphine, we need to go to Michigan.
Let's talk to the pack.
Delphine, no, we need to go to Michigan. If that's where we need to start, that's where it has to happen. I need to go there. He feels like he had a almost desperate look in his eyes as he gets up, like he's on one knee now, 1 foot up, and he like grabs both of your shoulders. He's staring you in the eyes.
let's talk to the pack and work out when we, you and me, can go. Not everyone needs to come with us.
He'll be satisfied with that answer as he'll nod, let go of your shoulders, and stand up, looking
first-
sheepish.
We have to take care of Ray. Remember, we promised we would take care of him.
He'll wipe his face off from any remaining tears and nod, as he'll say, yeah, that, I know, I stick to my word. I'm still gonna help him with his shit, and hopefully they'll stick to theirs and come with. He kind of awkwardly looks around for a moment, looks at you, and then just kind of quickly, maybe shockingly and a little scary, just rushes forward and gives you a big hug for a second. Very heartfelt hug before, it lasted like a second too long, and then he let goes as he'll kind of not, like, he has a strange look on his face, like not sure what he should say or what he should do.
Delphine, as you are pulled into the embrace, looking past Forged, you can see that in one of the trees along the edge of the clearing, Charles looms, watching carefully, but then steps back behind the tree.
She'll spot him and just give him a reassuring nod as he starts stepping away, just kind of like silently gesturing, "You're good. We're gonna be good. We're fine." And she's just gonna return the embrace and just patting him on the back, rubbing every now and then.
And with that, we go to our break. We'll be back in just a few minutes with the second half of tonight's story. St. Petersburg by Night is brought to you through collaboration with our partnered vendors: Chromatic Creations, Panchi Artista, Ember Fox Dice, Champs Tramps, and Howl and Hop Tea. Links to our partnered vendors, as well as our Twitch and YouTube channels, can be found on our website, stpetebynight.com. You can follow St. Pete by Night on all socials with the hashtag St. Pete by Night. If you wish to support our programs, you can do so at ko-fi.com/St. Pete by Night to help keep the stories rolling. As we return, we find ourselves at the place this pack has called home, or at least at times for some of the members, as many have moved elsewhere or stayed elsewhere or have, found their own way. But this was their first home when arriving in Tampa. The house that was afforded to them by the graciousness of the Silverfangs, Matthias Morningkill, and Charles Albrecht. This has been the place where confrontations have been had, fights have been had, but also growth. As at various times, members of the pack have come to understand each other here. What tonight will be, well, that's a story yet to be written. As the pack gathers together to have a very difficult conversation with Raymond. However, they've had this conversation before, but now it's time to put words into action. What action, you may ask? Let's see. So as all of you are gathered in the living room of your home, joined by Stakes and Sean, who sit nearby, the scene is yours.
At this point, Ray will have one of the kitchen chairs pulled out of the kitchen and placed in the living room. Probably a couple more out because we probably don't have as much space for everyone now with the additional people in the house with Sean and Stakes. So grabbing one or two more chairs if no one wants to scrunch up on the couch. Be sitting in one of them, his red plaid shirt unbuttoned, his hat worn out and sweat stained, sitting on his head. He's kind of rubbing his arms a bit, a little, I guess, nervous for the conversation, because we had the talk before when I let everyone know about Jordan, but we were dealing with a bigger thing at the time. Now that that's over with, and I made the promise that we would deal with it afterwards, the next step is here. So he's just kind of waiting for everyone to kind of get together.
Delphine will have assumed her usual seat from when she was staying here on the couch next to the crocheted blanket that she made for Stakes, still covered in fur and smelling just god awful. And she'll be staring at Ray and trying to gauge where his mind is at in this moment, and seeing him just like with his arms crossed a little bit, she's just like, she can tell that he's not looking, she can at the very least tell surface level that he's probably not looking forward to this conversation, but they have a deadline, and she's going to make sure that they don't use up the entire deadline in this task that they were given.
Though Forge had a heavy emotional moment recently, it doesn't quite stop him from still attempting to maintain the veneer of his normal behavior, foot up on the table in front of him as he's sitting on the couch, leaned back, not looking like he cares all that much, but underneath all that, he now finally has a vested interest in this resolution of Jordan. While he did care about the pack beforehand, it was more just whatever happens as long as my pack mates are safe, that's kind of okay with. But now it's, I need this resolved to help to get what I need done now. So he almost a little anxious to get this over with and something figured out.
Stakes is lounged on the couch in between Delphine and Forged, sitting on her blanket. And Sean is sat in one of the offered chairs pulled from the kitchen, looking around the house appraisingly, taking in the surroundings for the first time since his arrival in Tampa. He murmurs to himself, kind of offhandedly, "You live like this?"
I mean, I don't anymore. But the chore wheel is not something that got enforced here. Also, we just are not allowed to touch Stakes' blanket.
Sean just nods his head a few times, giving one last glance over everything before turning his attention to all of you.
So, it's about that intervention, huh?
Is that what we're calling it now?
Just always thought it would be for me, but here we are.
Sean chuckles at the mention of a intervention and Delphine claiming to be the one it should have been for, but looks towards Raymond. Why don't you tell us where your head is at the moment?
I'll let out kind of a nervous chuckle with no humor in it whatsoever. And I'll uncross my arms and kind of run them down my legs. I mean, where my head's at is probably one of the most uncluttered things, or most cluttered things at the moment. I've been thinking a lot, and it's hard for me to figure out what the correct path is at this point. It's really hard for me to put it into words.
If I may, I'd like to tell all of you a story. Story Stakes knows very well and has likely told you from her own perspective. It's the story of how the Half Moon Lake Sept fell into civil war. It was a very difficult time for the Sept. Many were losing hope. Some were becoming aggravated, as the nation had withdrawn almost all of its support, and contact was minimal at best. We were still growing as a Sept and had been hardened by many difficulties. In fact, there was an entire battle with the leeches of Detroit that had worn on our resolve for some time as they were expanding their reach outward. Needless to say, a solution, in the minds of some, came knocking in the form of the spirit of Fenris. It preyed upon their anger and frustration, and it offered assistance, a direction. A direction that some chose to follow and others chose to avoid. This caused division on how to move forward. Those that followed the path believed destruction was the only way, letting nothing stop them from accomplishing their goals. No litany, no law, only violence. The others believed in the path they had chosen, believed in the path that had been laid out before them. But watching their brothers and sisters, their companions, fall to this violent nature, for the sake of everything that had been built, something had to be done. And then the attacks began. It started as a challenge to Red and his leadership. Red defeated the one that challenged him, maintaining his leadership, but that wasn't enough for them. If they couldn't take it through the right means, through the means the nation had stood by since its inception, they would take it through violence. Not through honor, not by any kind of code, but outright violence. Brother fighting brother, sister fighting sister, And in some cases, and Sean looks over towards Stakes, who has a 1,000-yard stare in her one eye as she nurses a beer in her hand. Sister fighting brother. I look at those times and I can't help but wonder if there's more I could have done. If I'd seen the early signs, could I have brought them back to the path? We have avoided this outcome. Truthfully, it's one of my biggest regrets that I didn't try more. But we were all so exhausted, worn thin, with no signs of support or help coming. Maybe if we'd been a little patient, we would have recognized that the help was coming in a very unusual and unexpected fashion. But needless to say, the obvious course isn't always the right one. Not because of what it destroys, but because of what it leaves behind. Regret, anger, fear, resentment, and wondering. I wonder, had I chose words over claws, would my brothers and sisters still be alive? Would the Sept still be alive? Would we have survived what happened at the mines? Would we all be together in Michigan, where we should be? Would you have had the teachers you deserved? So before anyone thinks they know best, know that it's only just a guess, an assumption, a hope that it will go the way you want it to. But nothing in this life is certain. And with that, he stops speaking.
Throughout the story, Delphine would have put her hand on Stakes' hand just to provide some comfort, because she knows that that story is a sore spot for her. And would give comforting squeezes especially at the part where talking about sister fighting brother. She would have given just a comforting squeeze. But she will nod as Sean finishes his story, and she'll look at Ray. What is the best case scenario that you foresee?
The best case scenario, in my mind, is that the rite is performed, the bane is banished, and I can help Jordan recover what he's lost and help him get back to the way he was. That's the best outcome.
What's the worst case scenario that you're willing to accept?
It'll take a bit for Ray to respond, as he just thinks and doesn't want to say it out loud. But after a bit, Ray will kind of look down shakily take in a breath and exhale. The worst situation, I don't know if I can accept it, but the worst outcome is that Jordan dies.
I asked for the one that you're willing to accept.
I mean, how could I accept that? Like, what's the other options? Like, the right fails, the bane isn't banished. I just have him as my Fomori friend for the rest of his life. That obviously is not going to happen. It's not going to happen because the Sep's not going to let that happen. You guys wouldn't approve of that. I don't know if at this point I would approve of that either. Because, like you all said, and what everyone else has told me before, what if that's just leading to more suffering? And I can't do that to him at this point. I've already done so much. I've already put so much effort into it. I can't keep him that way. So what?
It's because of how much effort you put into it. She pauses, hesitating. That leaves me concerned as to how far you're willing to let us go before you try to stop us.
At this point, Stakes interjects. You have been keeping him that way, Raymond. For a year. What is it you guys say? Shit or get off the pot? You gotta do something. Because what you're doing now, going back and forth, waiting, you're doing exactly what you don't want to do.
You think I don't know that at this point? Do you think I honestly am deluding myself that much at like this point in time that I don't understand? People have been telling me that for months, that what I'm doing is causing him pain and suffering. And it took me a bit to recognize that. But I do accept that, which is why I'm trying to not beat around the bush, and I'm trying to get something done, which is either the right or what needs to be done. And that, I thought that's what this was. I thought this was planning. I thought this was planning for the next step.
This is planning, Ray. But it's also a couple of us are worried about how you might react in the moment.
Forge puts his foot down from the table and sits up a bit more. He'll look Ray in the face. He'll say, "Dude, this isn't us just trying to sit here and tell you that, hey, you're wrong. We don't think you believe in these things. This shit is fucking tough. I couldn't imagine having a Fomori friend and having to make this decision. That sucks dick. And to make a decision like that would take me fucking forever. So we're trying to make sure that you're okay, and us, when people tell you those things, they're not trying to tell you because they don't think you believe it. They're trying to tell you because they know it's the hardest part, making the choice, and they're trying to help you."
No, I mean, I get it. I get that when everyone is telling me that I'm wrong or that what I'm doing is harmful. I get that you're trying to help me. But at some point it does become more than that. It becomes like, I don't know, beating me down by just telling me that what I've done is wrong. And what I've done is the worst thing that I could possibly do, which could be, or not even could be, is probably the case. But I don't know.
I think we can all agree. Just, we won't beat you down in the discussions. Won't do that anymore. It's been said enough. What we need to focus on is just going forward and how to handle Jordan, but also how to handle you in the moment.
I'll be the first to say, Sean says, I'm not sure any of us would have made a different decision if put in that position. It is probably one of the most difficult challenges you will have to face, as anything, guru, human, otherwise. If you are still holding out hope that something can be done, then it must be done. You are the leader, Raymond, and you must pick which way this pack goes. And if this pack believes in you, they will follow no matter what. But that also means acknowledging whatever consequences come from that action will be what they may. If you want to do the right, I will assist you. I will see it done. And I will stand with you for whatever consequences come from it. Because if I were in your position, I would do the same thing.
I appreciate that, Sean. I really do. And I do still have some hope. But it is slowly being eaten away. Because I've always stated that I was willing to take the full price, that I would pay any price personally. But it seems like that's starting to not be an option. That if this is done, then potentially you all will be paying the price for me. And that is what is making me waver. That is what is making me question my choices so far.
Steak says, as soon as this became a pack, we were all going to take the price, no matter what. Let's say you die and he lives. You're leaving this ship without a captain, and we're losing a brother. So yeah, you may have thought you took the price on you, but we're all still going to have to pay it. This was never an option for you to be the only one to pay the price. Never. All Guru will pay the price if anything happens to you. Because that's one less warrior for Gaia. One less member of the Sept. One less member of this pack. And if you haven't caught on yet, this lot is kind of fond of you. Kind of. You're a little annoying right now with all this. But we're all paying the price no matter what. So let's pay it and get on with it so we can pull ourselves out of this debt.
Delphine nods in agreement. You taking all of this onto yourself has already created a heavy price, which is... She'll just hesitate and then just fucking say it. I question your leadership sometimes, right now. I hesitate to trust that you'll make the right decision to keep this pack safe when push comes to shove in the moment.
I will look over at Delphine. I knew that this was discussed when Forge told me, but hearing it outspoken hurts a little bit. So I will look at Delphine and say, I mean, my leadership when we went to Piney Point wasn't questioned, and I felt like in the moment I led everyone well and led everyone to safety. We got hurt.
Piney Point wasn't Jordan. You had no emotional connection to Piney Point. But you have such a strong emotional connection to this that you still hesitate. We've known since before Piney Point, we've known since before the heist, yet we still don't know where he is. We still don't know what he's been up to. We still don't know if you've been continuing to meet with him. We don't know anything, Raymond.
John
We're
speaks
still
up.
in the dark.
John says, you are a soldier, and when you have a mission, your leadership is unquestionable. You know how to lead on a mission. The leadership doesn't end with the mission. As a pack leader, it's every moment you breathe, every action you take, every decision you make. You do so as the leader of this pack. So even if you're the one to take the brunt, even if you're the one to take the fall time after time after a time, it affects everyone.
I mean, especially as, you know, pack leader and all, but the same could be happen for any of us. If any of us decide that we're all going to take the consequences for ourselves. Imagine I just keep taking hit after hit, and eventually I can't fight anymore because I'm too fucked up. Then who's going to fight, you know? Your best fighter's down, you don't have them there all of a sudden. Delphines get caught up in spirit stuff and, you know, gets distracted, not being aware, or, you know, gets lost in the sauce with spirits, then we don't have our theurge. I mean, it's the same for all of us. It's just, you gotta understand, you know, share the load. I've seen plenty of dudes at bars who just sold their life away bit by bit, thinking that they're doing the moral right thing by taking on these burdens and these consequences. And in reality, all they'd done is just martyr themselves for a fleeting sense of righteousness, gratification. Yeah. And he realized, he says, like, kind of looks around after he said that, like, yeah. And he just kind of nods. He realized, fuck, I used too big of words.
My drug problem was I was thinking that it was just hurting me. But when it came to a mission, it was splitting Forge's attention. Because I was a liability.
Stakes pipes up. Don't forget the fucking ghosts.
Yeah, the ghosts.
Glad I didn't really have to experience that. That shit sounds crazy as hell.
I guess I can agree that in this situation, in this moment, I can see why you would be questioning. And I'm not like disagreeing with you. I mean, I can try and figure out a plan and we can work to put it into motion, but in the moment, I mean, things could change. I mean, all of us experience different emotions during high tense situations, and I am attached to this.
If, hypothetically, scenario, the right didn't work, the Fomori was coming at us with everything to try to kill us, and Forged was in the moment to do his duty as an Arun to protect this pack, or Juniper had to tear his head off, and you had your hand on your gun, who would you shoot? Or would you even shoot?
That is the thing that I have been thinking about for the past couple of weeks. Because I don't want to cause any more harm to you guys. And I don't want to cause more harm to Jordan at this point. In the moment, I wish I could tell you a solid answer. I wish I could. And that's me being truthful. But I don't know if I want you guys hurt more than Jordan at this point.
Too late. As far as I can tell, Jordan, or whatever's in Jordan, is doing just fine right now. Is enjoying playing this game with you. Where we're here questioning you, worrying about you, getting frustrated with you. Here's the deal, pup. This is your decision to make. But if you don't make it soon, I'm gonna make it for you. And even if you hate me for it forever, it's what I'm gonna have to do to protect all of you. So make it, or understand you lose control of the situation. I'm not saying this is it. I'm not saying you gotta off them like I made you promise you would. But if you don't do it, Raymond, and you don't do it now, I will.
Delphine will have frowned at just the exchange, but she's also still frowning over Ray's hesitation still in not knowing who he would pull the trigger on, if at all. She's gonna get up off the couch, releasing Stakes' hand, and she's gonna walk into the kitchen, and she's gonna pull out a knife from the block, and she's gonna walk over to Raymond, holding it in her hand. I'm gonna need more than that in a moment.
I mean, you're asking me the question. It'd be like if I asked you if your mother or father were a Fomori. and you spent time trying to help them and fix them, and we were trying to help them.
They were
And
wraiths.
something happened. I know.
They were wraiths tormenting.
But it's
someone
still
who
your
murdered
family.
them. And I sent them away. And then
Yes.
I bound myself to a cairn, and I will never see them again. I made my choice. I chose to forgive her. And I chose this pack. So don't you dare try to use that on me. Because I did choose.
Fine. You're right. But I don't know.
And that is why I will ask you this. You will swear a blood oath. You will swear that the safety of this pack would remain your first duty. Should any of us fall or suffer lasting harm as a direct consequence of you prioritizing Jordan above your sworn duty as pack leader, you will surrender your claim to leadership.
Ray will kind of lean back in his chair, just staring at Delphine. With a hard look on his face. Not anger, not like disappointment, nothing like, just thinking. What exactly does this blood oath entail?
The litany. The 12th tenet of the litany. The Geru shall honor the oath of Geru. You were swearing, exactly as I stated, to prioritize the pack.
Sure. I accept.
She'll slice her hand open and slice and hold the knife out to him.
I'll hold out my 3-fingered hand.
And she'll slice through the palm. She'll look to Stakes. She'll look to Forged. She'll look to Sean. And hold the knife in case either or any of them wish to partake in this blood oath.
Stakes immediately grabs the knife. I don't know why you all sliced your palm. Don't you know how much that fucking hurts? And she cuts the back of her arm. At this point, Sean gives a soft smile. As much as I'm honored by the request, I am not a part of your pack. Mentor, certainly, but I have my pack, and one day I will join them again. But until then, I will remain an observer to this, and an assistant when needed. He looks towards Raymond. Take the oath. Let's do the right and try and save your friend. Because at the end, you won't have to say you wish you did.
I'll look at Sean and nod and turn to Delphine. I swear that if any of my actions cause any lasting harm or the death of anyone in my pack, that I will relinquish leadership and well, I guess we'll see what happens from there.
Just lets the knife fall from her hand, let it clatter on the floor. She'll step back and go back to the couch.
Sean looks down at the knife and then mutters, "That'll stain." So sworn and witnessed. He looks towards Raymond. So, are we doing the right or not?
Yeah, let's give the right the shot.
He smiles and nods. You won't regret it. Because you'll never have to wonder. And he, using his one arm, reaches out and gives Raymond's shoulder a squeeze. With that, we move on to our final scene of the evening. Tampa, Florida. Been on the road for at least 8 hours, maybe even 10. Traffic in Atlanta being what it is. But you've arrived in a city of sound and smell and so many overstimulating qualities that a lupus-born might think themselves in hell. But this is where your fate has taken you. This is where the spirits have sent you. And this is where a kind-hearted soul named Roy leaves you. In a city of horns honking, of exhaust fume filling the air, of warmth because of the beating sun upon the pavement. While nature can be found here, it is few and far between because this is a major metropolitan city. Your first city, Willow. And it is going to leave an unmistakable, lasting effect on you, especially if this is to be your home. Or is it? As the two of you stand within the noisy city, which seems to stretch on further than any city should, as it's just suburbs and strip malls and more development. It feels like the wild doesn't exist here, like you had to say goodbye to the last bits of it at the edge of the city limits, only to be encompassed by this weaver-grown manifestation. Where will you go? What will you do? Where will you live? These are the questions you find yourself asking as you stand with no signs pointing you where to go, no direction deciding your path for you. The scene is yours.
I thought the highway was bad, but this is loud.
Yeah, I was a bit worried about that. We gotta keep moving on.
This is
I
like
don't
what
know.
I imagine the inside of a beehive looks
Kind
or
of.
like when you shove your nose in an anthill and it's got all the little tunnels, and then they bite you, and it hurts, and then you get bumps all over your nose, and then it's painful for like a week, and then it's gone. It's like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't know anything about this this SEP, so I don't know if they have a city card or a nature card, but our best bet is probably to look at some maybe nature forests, whatever they have around here. Can't really ask around.
If I could, I'd like to use penumbral senses to see if I can get a read on anything.
Sure. I believe it costs a willpower, and you make the roll.
Three successes.
As your unnaturally reflective eyes, at least unnatural in Hamid form, blur, you gaze into what lies beyond. Or at least you try to. The gauntlet here is so thick that as your vision starts to blur, as you start to see what lies on the other side, you are almost immediately shoved back out. But not without one horrifying image. For in the city, high above you, its long legs plunged into the ground like skyscrapers, a gigantic spider looms above the city. Its webs weaved into the streets, into the buildings. The entity that is the spirit of Tampa, of the Weaver, of evolution, looms overhead. Enough to startle you away from your vision, the gauntlet heaving you out.
Willow's hands immediately go to their temples and they just start rubbing. Ow! Okay. Not doing that. Weaver big, Weaver large, long leg, bad.
Okay, good start. So this is a big city, arguably, clearly.
Weaver is very happy here and did not like my intrusion. Okay. Looking into the Umbra's not happening. Okay. Other Kinsey, is that a thing? I don't know what Kinsey.
Well, the kid seeking would ping. Well, it might ping others in the area, whether they're kin or not. We have to go somewhere private for that, though, because it's like a whole ritual thing. It's not like it happens like you just did.
Okay.
Quinn's going to take out his phone, and he's going to just research some, whatever natural forests or nature preserves or anything like that are in the area of Tampa.
There are a few, actually quite a few preserves in the area. It seems like they've actually made a dedicated effort to set aside land. Some are across the bridge in St. Pete. Some are here. There are quite a few parks. So they are holding on to pieces of the area. There's also the Hillsborough State Forest to the north. There's Lettuce Lake Park. There's too many options to count realistically at this point. Most of them are going to take some concentrated travel to get to, as you are finding yourselves in the city and most of that is along the outskirts, except for some parks within the city itself.
Can I make a roll to see if Quinn has a lighter?
You don't have to make a roll, you can have it.
Okay. I'm gonna look over to Willow and say, okay, I'm gonna try and see if we can't call that spirit again somehow.
Wait. Okay. Willow pulls out like a button, like they probably stole from that gas station, and it's got a little happy face on it. Here for the spirit.
Thank you, Willow. And then Quinn's gonna take out something, probably like a bag of chips as well. And he will flick the lighter and try to do some talk of like, hi, I don't know your name. I'm hoping you're getting this. Please, we just need some guidance on where we need to go from here. We're here in Tampa.
Make me a wisdom and persuasion roll.
Four successes.
As you spark the lighter, staring deep into it, the flame dancing on the breeze that moves its way through the city streets in between all of the tall buildings around you. You make your plea. And as you stare and nothing happens, it eventually gets to that point where it hurts to hold the lighter still. It's so hot that you end up recoiling. But as the flame goes out, down the street, a block away, in the most unnatural way possible, a horse walks across the street. Except this horse has a long protruding horn coming out of its forehead. It pauses long enough to look in your direction before it continues clopping its way onward, going behind the buildings down the block.
Quinn, I need a Pop-Tart.
Quinn will pull out a Pop-Tart.
Yes, and I will unwrap it in the maybe event that I actually get to talk to you. I just have it ready, and I'm like, I'm ready. I'm gonna go and press the unicorn, and I'm gonna follow the unicorn. Just immediately take off walking that direction.
Quinn will follow behind as well.
As you proceed around the corner, moving at a quick clip, because it did have a little bit of distance on you and not wanting to lose it, you quickly turn the corner as you see a colorful, almost rainbow-esque tail flit from around a alleyway corner, just sashaying as it moves around to the other side. You give chase, following behind, ducking into the same alleyway where the spirit was seen, departing. And at first, you find nothing but the shadows cast from the building up above. Just as you're about to grow frustrated, luminous glowing eyes appear amidst the darkness.
My children.
Willow has the widest smile on the planet. Will immediately like head to almost like their knees in deference, just sort of shuffling in the sort of weird bow situation, holding out the Pop-Tart.
The unicorn lets out the most musical laugh, as if it were being performed by a string orchestra, echoing off of the brick walls that surround you, off of the concrete. And as it bows its head down and takes the Pop-Tart from you. It gnashes its square teeth a few times, crumbs dropping from it onto the ground.
Why do you look so lost?
We'll gesture to Quinn. Say the nice words that you're good at.
Quinn will chuckle at Willow and also hold out the bag of chips for Unicorn to take. And she says, if I had known that we would see you, I would have got some carrots. But we're looking for the sept that's in this area.
The unicorn stares at the bag of chips, cocking its head to the side, and leans in to sniff a few times before kind of stomping its hooves a few times.
I prefer Cool Ranch.
I will note that for next time. Thank you.
You must do what you do best. Survive. For you have entered another's territory. They will find you.
Oh, should we do the howl? You said the howl. When you enter another's territory, you have to do the howl, right? Can I hear it over the noise and the reverb and the everything?
Save the howl for the proper introduction. For now, you must see to your baser needs. Food, water, shelter. All will come in time. Remember, all of this, even the parts you care not to see, is our home, is our mother. You must embrace all of it, the good, the bad, and the weaver.
Willow is just sitting there nodding wildly, like, absolutely, of course, whatever you say. Yes, ma'am. Yes. Gender? Yes. Absolutely, 100%.
Thank you, Unicorn. I appreciate your information.
You must lead until you can follow.
The unicorn stomps its hooves a few times, letting out another musical neigh. And then it turns and starts to clop down the alleyway, stopping to pick up the discarded bag of chips before continuing onward.
All right. So, Willow, we have some choices. We can either attempt to survive as wolves into the limited forest areas that are here, or we can look for a survivor shelter in the area and survive off of that for now.
I'd like both of you to make me a wits and survival check as you take in the surroundings, as you've been observant upon your approach. Two successes for Willow.
3 successes for Quinn.
Willow, you're a little bit overwhelmed, so anywhere not this exact spot would probably be better. But Quinn, having a little bit more comfort and understanding about surroundings such as these, even if you haven't been in a city as big as this, or maybe not at least in some time, sleeping in the woods in an area near here is very dangerous. especially if it's not a territory claimed by the guru, because any passerby, any hiker that sees you could draw a lot of attention. So your best bet is probably to head a little bit further out of the downtown area to the outskirts and find one of those cheap rundown motels to stay at least until a situation presents itself for other options. But if you don't want to be caught sticking out like a sore thumb and making headlines and potentially pissing off your hosts, it'd probably be best to stay out of the woods for the time being until an introduction is had.
Quinn would also add in that third option of a motel out of the city.
Would it be less loud?
Not really. Maybe a little bit.
I look a little exasperated and just like, if it's less than, nice to sort of show up when announced in the Gaia flavored spaces, then we should probably do. If we can get even closer to not this loud, I'd like it.
All right. Well, we'll go to a motel.
Venturing your way out of the downtown area, you do find a fairly run-down motel. A motel that would be familiar to the rest of the pack as a place that once housed a child and mother. But as you take up residence, booking yourselves a room, the darkness falls over the city as night looms. As you're just getting to that point where you're getting ready to fall asleep, Quinn taking the bed, Willow probably taking the foot of the bed, curled up, a knock at the door rouses you. Standing up and heading over to the door, you open it to find a young woman with shaggy black hair, dressed in dirty clothes that look like they haven't been washed in ever. And she looks at you, then looks at Willow and says, "You're new." And that's where our episode will come to a close this evening, but not without one last scene. Our last scene takes us to a easily overlooked home along a busy street lined with these similar looking houses. The snow settled upon the ground, clinging as well as it can as spring draws ever closer. We move our way up onto the porch and through the front door, where we find pictures hanging on the wall of a once happy family, now broken with the loss of 2 of their children. As a young woman works tirelessly to keep the place clean, as 2 parents sit with their TV dinners staring at a screen, another knock comes at the door. As the door opens, a voice says, "Hello, Mother. Hello, Father." And this is where our episode comes to a close. Thank you so much to these amazing players. Thank you to everybody watching at home. Go sign up for our Ko-fi and become a member so that you can see the Rosebud Thorns that follows this very session, as well as much, much more. It's as low as $5 a month, so go sign up and get access to all the fun behind-the-scenes features, including merch discounts, including possibly getting your name shouted out in the credits, and all of these benefits you get by being a member. It supports our channel, it supports this show, it supports our community, and we appreciate it very, very much. But for these amazing players, I'm Kent. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. This has been a St. Petersburg by Night production, produced in agreement with the World of Darkness and Dark Pack. Visit our website at stpetbynight.com for more information about all of our productions and how you can become part of our community. Thank you for listening, and until next time, bangs, stakes, and claws out.